So we are going to go ahead and look at these, and we are going to determine the domain and range, and we are going to show if this graph is a function or not. Okay? So go ahead and look at this one here and tell me what the domain is and what the range is.
Domain range. So the domain would be positive 2, and then the range would be a
So
negative.
let's look at the domain again. What's the biggest x value and what's the smallest x value?
The biggest x value would be, oops.
That's okay.
The biggest x value would be a positive 2, and then the lowest x value would be a negative 2.
Yeah, good. So can you go ahead and write that in the notation that we use?
Positive 2.
Okay. So your notation is a little bit different than how we want to write it. We always want to put the smallest number first. Okay, so in this case, the negative 2
Negative
is
2.
going to be first. Okay, and there's a parenthesis because it's not included. Then we're going to do a positive 2, and then we're going to have a bracket. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, so that's how we're going to write the domain. So go ahead and look at the range now. What is the highest x value and what is the lowest, or what is the highest y value and what is the lowest y value?
The highest y value would be 1, and the lowest y value would be negative 2.
Perfect. So go ahead. Yep, good. Negative 2. Good. So this just needs to be a bracket because we have a closed circle. Does that make sense?
It does.
And this is a bracket as well. All right. So go ahead and tell me whether this relation is a function or not.
It is a function.
It is. Yep, that is correct. Good. All right, cool. So go ahead and look at number 6. This is a kind of fun one. So approach it the same way we've been doing before. Okay, what is the highest x value? What is the lowest x value?
The highest x value would be what? No.
So you gave me the range, not the domain.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Negative 1, negative 1.
Not negative 1, negative 1. So negative 3. Okay, negative 3 and positive 1. Does that make sense? Okay.
What?
Go ahead.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Oh, I do. I was looking like straight up and down.
That's okay. That's your range. That's your y value. So height is always y value. Width or length is always your x values. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So go ahead and look at this again. Should we be using parentheses or brackets?
We're using brackets.
Brackets, good. Do you guys call them something else, right? What do you guys call
Oh, we call them brackets.
Okay. All right. So now we're looking at the range.
The house would be 3, and then the lowest would be negative 1.
Good. Yeah. Negative 1, positive 3. Awesome. Is this relation a function or not?
It is not a function.
It is not, because it does not pass the vertical line test.
Line test.
Yeah, perfect. All right, this will be our last one over here, depending on how long it's going to take us. Okay, go ahead and look at the domain and range of this function.
The domain would be 2. It'd be -2 and 2.
Yep, good. Both with parentheses because it's not inclusive. Awesome. All right, let's go and look at the range.
The range would be -2. Triple down. I got -2, -2.
No, -2, -2. So we're going to look at where the graph is the lowest and where the graph is the highest. Okay, so
Oh yeah.
go ahead, try it again. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I think you can get it. Let me tell you.
Now then it would be -4, and then that'll be 1.5 or 1.
We're not paying attention to the x value. Just pay attention to the height of the graph.
Okay, so it'd be 0.
0, good, yeah. So don't even look at the x values. Okay, that might be throwing you off a little bit. So just look at the lowest and the highest. Okay, that's all we're concerned about. We're not concerned about the x values at all. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, perfect. Is this a relation of function?
I'll say it is a function.
Okay, can you tell me why it is a function?
It's kind of are these lines touching the axis? That's the part I got me confused.
Are we doing the horizontal? Are we doing the horizontal line test or the vertical line test?
The vertical line test, like try to get it straight, but
Yep.
it looks like it's touching it, but at the same time it's not touching it. So it makes me confused.
No, so it is a function because no matter how many lines we draw, it's not going to touch multiple times. Does that make sense?
It does.
If we wanted to do the horizontal line test, which that doesn't exist, but if we were going to do that, then it would not be a function because it would have touched 2 points right there and right there. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. All right, awesome. Do you have any questions about that one?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, perfect. All right.